Hi, Chase. I'm Melissa
Hello,
Lamont.
nice to
I'll
meet
be
you.
your mediator today.
Drew
Drew.
Pinchot, nice to meet you.
This is Jackie Cleo.
Hi, Drew, nice to meet you. Or Chase?
I'm
Drew,
Drew,
nice to meet you. Guys, want to just grab a seat?
Take a seat. Drew, would you like to sit right here?
Please.
Chase?
Is this right here okay?
Yep, right there.
This
That's
one
my
right
desk.
here?
Yes, that's great. So, I'd like to welcome you both to mediation today. As I said, I'm Melissa Lamonto. I'm a trained mediator. I have been successful for over 12 years now. I have my certificate in mediation. I just want to let you guys know that I'm not a lawyer or a judge, so we'll be handling this here amongst ourselves. And I am a third-party neutral and would like to remain neutral, as well as Jackie. As I said, I'd like to welcome you both here, and I'd like to know if you guys have any time constraints, so that way we can work through this, and I would not like you guys to feel rushed. So Drew, do you have any time constraints?
No, not today, I'm all set.
Okay, Chase, do you have any time
No, I don't.
constraints? Jackie?
No.
Do you have anything?
Not at all.
Okay, wonderful. So first off, I would like to go over some ground rules before we get started here, and would like you guys to agree to them. We ask that everything that is said in this room is confidential and nothing leaves. Drew, can you agree to that?
Yes, I can agree to that.
Chase, can you agree to that?
I can as well.
Great. I will also ask that we will spend equal time on each portion of your story. Drew, do you agree to that?
Yeah, I would like that very much.
Chase?
Mhm.
Great. We ask that you use no foul language towards each other or Jackie or myself. Drew, can you agree to that?
I will try my best. Yes, I can.
Great. Thank you.
I can agree.
Chase, thank you.
Confident.
Appreciate it. And at this point, Jackie or myself may be taking notes during this, but as we said, we will shred those after and they will not leave this room.
Are those like grades or something?
No, they're not grades. They're just notes to help us stay tuned into the story.
Okay. All right,
And,
just grades, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Any questions?
No.
Is it okay? Do you feel comfortable if we take notes?
Yeah, that's okay, yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Drew.
I didn't know if you were keeping score or something.
No,
Okay.
we will not be keeping score. As I said, I am neutral, so we just want to make sure that you guys can both explain your
Okay.
stories. This is something that you guys will be mediating and not myself. So, and the one last thing is I ask that as you guys are speaking, you're speaking to each other. Okay,
Okay.
because this is dealing with you guys, and
Mhm.
eye contact would be great if you could stay tuned in. Drew, can you do that?
Yep.
Great. And Chase?
I can.
Great, thank you. And at this point, we ask that you guys turn off your cell phones. That way we have no distractions. And the one thing I do ask is that if the conversation gets a little bit heated or emotional, I may ask to take a break. Or Jackie may ask to take a break. We'll step outside, we'll regroup, and we can come back in and get done with this.
If we feel it's getting too emotional, can one of us ask for a break?
Certainly,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely. So we want you guys to feel comfortable here, and we can really work this out, so that way we don't have to take this to court. Drew, can you agree to this?
Yeah, I think I can agree with everything so far.
Great, and Chase?
Fair enough.
Can you sign this, please? It's just your ground rules that you're agreeing to. Thank you. Okay. Great, thank you.
Okay, so as Melissa said, what we're going to do is we're going to go into some steps of mediation. We're going to get each of your opening statements. We're going to find, as I'm taking notes or Melissa's taking notes, we're going to find some common ground in each of your situations. Then we're going to try and create some options at the end to bring everything together, stuff that you guys can agree on that either you can fix or do or work yourselves along to make your situation better. And then we're going to have you sign on an agreement. Okay? Does that work with you, Drew?
Yeah, I thought there was no paperwork going to go out of this, so why are we signing an agreement?
You're going to sign an agreement pretty much for your
Oh, okay. So
your
just
safety.
we'll keep
Yeah,
it.
it's
Okay.
for you guys.
Okay.
It's for your safety. Safety, or so you can just be like, we've agreed upon this. This is what we're going to try and do, because you want
That
to
makes
move
sense.
forward and then take 2 steps
Oh,
back.
not for me.
Okay,
Great,
that's for in the
thanks.
future.
Yes.
Okay, great. What we're going to do is, we're going to get opening statements, and who would like to go first?
I would like to.
I'm kind of.
You kind of want to go first too, okay. Well,
I
in this,
don't feel comfortable with Chase going first, to be honest.
okay, well, as Melissa said before, we want to try and keep this positive, we want to make sure that we're talking to each other, not at each other. So what we're going to do is trying to rectify this, we're going to do a coin toss. And Melissa here will do the coin toss, she will assign you tails, assign you heads, does that work for you, Drew?
That works.
Does that work for you, Chase?
Tails never fails.
That's fine with me.
Alrighty then.
He's all superstitious.
We have wonderful competition here, I love it.
Heads.
Heads, so
So I get to start.
Chase, you're going to be able to make your opening statement, and then as soon as you're done, we'll move on to Drew, and then we can make his opening statement. Okay?
Okay. Do you want me to start now?
Yes, you may. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, here's my side of the story. We are both coaches for Team USA. Something that I'm proud of. I'm not sure about Drew. I'm pretty sure he might be proud as too. But we are both coaches for curling. We do a lot of recruiting, trying to find the top talent for Team USA in recruiting. And I guess the problem with me is I do most of the work, at least it feels like I do most of the work. I travel all over the United States, do all these strange towns, finding top-tier talent to take to the Olympics, and Drew gets all the credit for it. He sits in the office. Granted, he does make some phone calls, but I'm the one traveling, I'm the one talking to them face-to-face. I'm the one who is bringing in these guys, and then ultimately Drew gets the credit for it from our the USOC and our team head director of USA Curling. So that's where I'm at. Obviously there's some tension between us, hence why we are here, and it's something that's been bothering me, and hopefully, like, I'm curious to see what Drew has to say, because I'm sure he'll have something against me.
Let's try to keep this positive, okay?
So, that's my story.
Okay. Drew.
My turn?
Yes.
Well, Chase and I have been working together now for a few years, getting ready for the Olympics. And I think what it comes down to is a little bit having different techniques and a little bit just being at different levels in terms of our competency in this job. I am more of a new school. What you've got to understand about curling is it's unique. It's not like a lot of other sports where the talent is up front. You have to go find the curling talent. You don't read about them in the newspaper, this type of thing. So it takes a lot of work on our end. And I am more of a new age. I use the internet a lot, looking up video clips, looking at stats online. I think it's just as valuable and way more cost effective to make phone calls, send text messages, this type of thing, versus going, meeting with them. I think that's much more of the old school route. And for a very underfunded team, it's hard to be crisscrossing the country from, Beasley, North Dakota, down to Arizona, which Arizona, hotbed of curling.
Just make sure you're directing right at Chase over here, okay?
Oh, okay.
Because remember, you guys want to talk to each other.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So, and quite frankly, the recruits who I'm looking at, who are on my list, are the ones who end up playing for us. I feel like the athletes I'm put in charge of are the ones who end up panning out, who are ready to make the commitment to USA Curling, where your success rate isn't as high as mine. And I think a big part of that is me kind of pushing the frontier in terms of recruiting. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of these things, Pinterest, that helped me, I think, get into new roads into the curling world, which I don't think we take advantage of. And I think that's why I have the success rate I do, and why I'm getting the praise of the USOC committee, the Olympic Curling Fan Club, things like this.
So you feel that that is the biggest major strain is that do you think he's not taking advantage of those, or how do you feel?
I guess my concern is that I feel like I'm carrying the weight here, that I'm getting all the men and women who are curling for the United States. I'm recruiting them all, which is why I was named Coach of the Month last month. And I just feel like if you could contribute to that in some way, so I didn't feel all this responsibility, that would help. I feel like this hasn't been a team effort between you and I.
Okay, equal time. So did you want to add anything to that?
No,
or?
I think it seems like Chase might have something to say, so I'll let him hop in here.
Okay, Chase.
Well, it's funny that you bring up all of your awards and that you are so popular, and but I'm the one who's out on the road visiting these people you talk to. I'm the one who is putting in the hours traveling, driving. In the event that I get so tired and I fall asleep at the wheel, I mean, I'm putting in a lot of work, so in that instance, maybe I could be a little better with the social media side and that type of contact. But the fact that I'm driving and doing the physical aspect of it and meeting them face to face and talking with them and trying to bring them in is pretty taxing on myself and my family. And I see where you're coming from, but I would like some recognition for that as well, and I believe I work just as hard in that aspect.
I understand what you're saying, because I do know you're away from your family and you have young children, and I know that you had to miss some, Little League games and so forth during this recruiting cycle, and I do feel badly about that. But I work hard too. It's not easy stuff I'm doing. It takes a lot of time. You have to know how to do it. So while, granted, I'm not logging the miles that you are, so it might not be a quantifiable amount of work like you're thinking of in that sense, I'm still doing a lot of work. It's very demanding. I don't have kids of my own, but my brother lives in town. My nieces and nephews are just like kids to me, and the same thing. That's part of the commitment we made when we signed up for this job, was that we knew that it would be demanding leading up to this. So I recognize that you do spend more time away from here where we are in Lake Placid. In fact, there's an extra demand on you for that. But I just think that you kind of chose that for yourself by wanting to be a more of a shaking hands, kissing babies and recruiting guy. And I made the choice to go this other way a little bit. But, I think one of the things that comes down for me is that when we look at the names on our lists, way more of mine are highlighted and way more of yours are crossed off. And I just want you to be helping recruit all those guys and women that I'm successfully getting. So I think, I don't know, maybe it's these two different lists idea, where we just have, these are my recruits and these are your recruits. Maybe that's what's getting us in this trouble.
So Chase, before we get started with you again, we're going to go over a few things that we've learned, that are, I think are some commonalities, so to say. The sport itself is demanding and the recruiting aspect is very demanding. Would you both agree?
Yes.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Okay. You have a big commitment to recruiting top athletes for your sport of curling, not just anybody off the street. Would that be correct?
Correct.
Correct, definitely.
Okay. One of the things that was brought up was, while you are, I guess, a little bit upset with the fact that he likes to talk about his, Drew likes to talk about his awards and everything, you are putting in a lot of the face-to-face contact with the recruits. Whereas he's, as we pointed out, Drew's been using more of the social media aspect and more the technology aspect of it, which is why he, unfortunately has an injury with his carpal tunnels. You had also mentioned that you would probably want to try and get better using social media. Is that something that...
Right.
Okay. Do you have anything further to kind of elaborate on that we might be missing here, or?
I think you have the gist of what my qualm is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'd agree that I think we, in a nutshell, have what my concerns recently have been about the inequality of work. But so far it's been interesting to hear Chase's point of view. So I think we're on the right path.
More common ground, you guys obviously both love the sport. I don't think, anybody could, obviously see that you guys love the sport, and you know what you're talking about.
Curling is my life.
Curling is your life. Great. You both want recognition for, whatever part of recruiting you do, whether it's face-to-face or whether it's the technology aspect, if you both want the recognition. The success of the team, obviously tied in with some personal gain there is very, very big for you.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Correct? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think I speak for both of us when we're both young coaches in the field. This is, we would like to see this profession continue to grow for both of us.
Yes, I can agree.
Do you agree?
I can agree.
Okay. I think it's time, unless you guys have anything further you want to elaborate on or add to this, our mediation here, we can maybe kind of go into some solutions. What do you think, Jason?
I'm willing to start it off if that's fine with Drew.
Is that
Yeah,
good with you?
I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
I definitely see Drew's point of view, and I think that if we work together so I can see my family, maybe we could decide on splitting up our tasks. Maybe you can take some of my visits, and I can take, and you can also work with me on some of the calling and social media aspects so that we can split up the duties. So I'm not as heavy on the workload traveling, and you're not as heavy on the workload of calling and social media. And that way we can free ourselves up to see family and friends.
Yeah, I would like to add that I think one of the things I realized in our discussion is that how we've been doing things with the two different lists of recruits, it isn't conducive to us having a strong working relationship because we are both competitive guys. And so I think maybe we should just have one big list, and that way we can keep track of who we've texted, who we've tagged in Instagram, who we've gone to visit, and make sure that both of us, and we can just put little initials so that we can kind of keep track of that both of us are doing a little bit of each and who's been in touch with which athletes. And that might help to kind of get rid of some of this better competition between us, which, we're on the same team here, and we can't have that going forward if we want to make a running goal.
It's true. I can agree. And also possibly going into the meetings together with the Team USA, our director, and the USOC.
Yeah, I think one of the first things we do, which might be more kind of symbolic than anything, but I think we should change the award we got last week from me to the assistant coaches, so that we'll get that changed on the plaque and have that be a team award.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see, we're gonna come up, you guys have come up with some solutions, so let's just gonna go over and make sure that we're on the same page here, okay? When it comes to the recruiting aspect of, say, visits and social media, Chase, you want Drew to take a little bit, excuse me, take more of your actual visits, so that'll free you up to be with your family a little bit more, and he'll be doing a little bit more face-to-face meetings. And Drew, you're going to kind of tie in more social media with Chase so he can kind of get more either up to date or start utilizing that aspect of the recruiting a little bit more. Is that correct? Correct. Okay. Next one is you guys talked about the two different lists that you had. You're going to make it into one big list of recruits and kind of use a tracking system. Initial, who Snapchatted, who Instagram tagged, who Facebook, who all your wonderful social media. And even your visits, you guys will just, mark down who made phone calls and everything. So that tracking system is something that you both are willing to work towards and utilize,
Correct.
correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And one of the last agreements you guys came up with was meeting the Team USA and the USOC personnel, meeting them together instead of just one of you. Meeting with them and kind of sharing in the fact that this is what you two both accomplished together for recruiting purposes for the curling team. But kind of having that unified front, would that be correct?
Correct.
Would that be correct?
Yeah, and I think with me taking more trips on the road, that'll hopefully give us time where we're both back in the office more. There's a lot of time Chase was on the road during those, so I was the face that they saw during those meetings. So I think that will work well to have us both back.
Okay. Was there anything else that you would like to add to your agreement that you can kind of work toward and have that unified front?
I cannot think of anything else.
I'm happy with where we are. I think
I
it's been
enjoy
well
it.
productive. I'm quite surprised, to be quite frank with you. I thought this was going to be a train wreck.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't. Okay, so now that we've agreed, you guys have agreed upon this agreement, I'm gonna have you guys sign it, okay? And then once you guys are done signing it, Melissa's gonna wrap everything up, okay? So here you go, Chase, you can sign it and then pass it right over to Drew. Wonderful.
Now, in conclusion, that we have this agreement signed and dated as of today, October 15th, 2013. We'd like to wish you the best of luck in your recruiting endeavors and really communicate during this process and hope that you guys are on your way to a gold medal. So,
Thank you.
very much.
Thank
you
very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So